Okay, so I'm going to refer to you all as my AP Physics exam takers. So there are 7 of you, just so you know who everybody is. In alphabetical order, Jake Ernst, Daniel Vogt, Lydia Fries, Mitra Hilty, Luke Leininger, Nick Maggs, and Ian Weber. So you 7 are going to be on a totally different track, and if I don't know how much you communicate with each other, but you'll be kind of working on the same kind of stuff. So if you have a way to do that without actually getting together, that'd be great. I really thought all weekend about what's the best approach to do this. I've been communicating, not talking, but communicating with other physics teachers. We've been back and forth a lot. We have a little email discussion group that we're part of. Been looking at what the AP has been putting out. They've been trying to do a lot of stuff, but some of it's clunky. So I'm not set yet on exactly what it's going to be, but I'm going to try something. I got something laid out. I'm not going to give you like the whole 4 weeks worth of planning because I got to see if it's going to work or not. But it's a combination of what's referred to as AP Classroom. And AP Classroom is a tool that they just started this year. And it was meant for teachers to use with their students to do a lot of practice and review. And I haven't done it because I already had all that stuff set up. I had all my quizzes. I had everything. I mean, my stuff has worked in the past, and I liked it. AP Classroom has been really clunky. A lot of teachers have complained about just the way that it works. So I've been happy that I've not just dove right in. But I think now it's fixed enough that I think it can be useful. I'm still figuring some things out about it. Um, so what I'm going to use it for is to let you kind of self-assess. So to figure out for different topics, okay, what do I know here? Do I have some of the basics down? So I'm going to give you just little like quizzes, but they're not like for grades or anything. Just little quizzes to see, kind of test yourself. Right? In the first case, for example, one-dimensional kinematics, which was the first topic for the year. Like, what do you remember about that? And then based on how that goes, maybe that goes well, and you say, I probably don't need much more. But there's also the AP also created, or is in the process of creating, a bunch of YouTube review videos. They're actually making them because of this whole issue with people not being in school. So at like 11 o'clock every day, or I don't know, some days during the week, there's an AP Physics Mechanics, and then other days of the week, there's AP Physics E&M. But they're all on YouTube, so we can get them. So I'm going to use little snippets of that as like a little review, so I wouldn't have to make that myself. Now, I have all of the old materials still on my Google Classroom page, so you can go back and look at those too. But what I'm doing is I'm going to the recordings from these are just other AP Physics teachers, and I'm snipping out little parts of it, and I'm going to tell you which snip I think might be best for you to watch and participate in. So that's kind of the approach that I'm going to use. And it's not the best preparation for this test because this test is all free response. It's not multiple choice, but the concepts are still going to be the same. So as we get closer and AP provides a little more clarity on what exactly these questions are going to look like, then we'll start practicing that some more too. They still don't have like the actual platform you're going to use. They've never used it for these AP tests before, so we're kind of just guessing what it's going to look like. All I know is you'll be able to access it from any electronic device. You'll be able to either input your answers directly into the device, like by typing, or you'll be able to take pictures of paper and upload it to their website. So they're still figuring all this out, of course. So we're just going to go ahead and review. And my theory is if you have the concepts down well, and all of you have been working during the year getting those concepts, you probably know more than you think you do. And then we'll just see how it goes. I have a lot of confidence in you because you're smart people. We've worked hard all year. My students have historically done very well on this test compared to a lot of folks in the country, in the world. And there's a lot of other AP teachers that are just kind of panicking a little bit, and I refuse to panic. We're just going to prepare. So I'm going to lay things out on Google Classroom. You're going to have your own little topic. It's going to be like AP exam review, and each day there'll be like a little list of what to do. And if I start to feel like it's working pretty well, and I can give you the whole layout. Like I'm going to try to plan the entire time, about half the time for mechanics, half the time for E&M, so that you can kind of, see how it's all mapped out. I don't know if you want to see that or not, but I think it might be helpful. So I'm going to show you next, like what the AP Classroom looks like, the part that you'll be interfacing with. So let's watch that here in a sec. Okay, I thought before we looked at the AP Classroom, I would show you the YouTube channel. So, I mean, you could certainly find it. Here it is, AP Online Classes and Review Sessions. So they're actually doing some YouTube Live, and which is fine, except it might not fit into your schedule very well. And it's kind of weird. They actually decided to start doing live with the topics that would finish up each of the classes. So there's a mechanics class and there's an E&M class. And so like magnetism is not included anywhere in the exam, but the first videos were on magnetism. I think because they assumed most teachers were about ready to finish that. So they took what would have been a few weeks worth of work and crammed it into a few videos. And they did that live, but they're all recorded and everything, so we can get them all. So what I'm doing is I'm going back to the very beginning of mechanics, and we'll just start there and work our way through and use those as we need to. Okay. So now let's take a look at what your AP Classroom is going to look like, since you haven't spent any time there. So yours will obviously look a little different than mine. This is a student version. I actually joined the class as a student. So this is not my teacher look. But when you pull it up, you'll see you're all going to have an assignment. And so it'll be listed. Now, I don't know exactly where it's going to be listed, to be honest with you. It's going to be called, like, there's two assignments. It's going to be called like quizzes. So if you click there, you're going to see there's three tabs: assignments, progress, and results. Now I've already kind of practiced by taking both of these assignments. It's not these what we call progress checks. Those actually aren't very helpful. You can see what they're called is locked. Here's the two that I'm referring to: 1D kinematics with calculus and 1D kinematics no calculus. So they're going to be open, and it'll give you like a window where it's open. I actually opened them on Sunday, Easter Sunday, while I was messing around with this. My status is complete. Your status will be like not started or something along those lines. So they're like multiple choice questions. So when you kind of work through them, see how it goes. They're just trying to hit some of the main concepts of one-dimensional kinematics. Again, we've been using this all year long, and you've done it in calculus class too, but do you remember some of the key stuff? That who knows, right? So when you're finished, after a few minutes, it seems like it takes a few minutes, but you can go to results and you can see how you did. So like the one with calculus, just for fun, I missed a question on purpose and I got 1 out of 2. And the no calculus one, I got 6 out of 6. So this was how I wanted to lay it out so that you could see yourself how it went. But you can also kind of ask yourself, like, how do I feel about this? Do I need a little bit more work? And then you can go back to those AP Review YouTube videos, and they're each, like 1D kinematics, he did it for 2 days, and they were each about 50 minutes long. So that's like a lot of time, way more time than I would think you would want to spend unless you're like, I don't know, just really itching to make sure you get this score good, or if you have nothing better to do. So you can watch the whole thing if you want to. He's actually kind of entertaining, the two that I watched. And there's practice in there and stuff. But what I got for you that you can see on Google Classroom is the actual snippets of each of those with little links to them. So, just that's the part that I thought was most critical, part that sort of maybe summarized things and condensed them nicely so that you didn't have to watch like 2 complete days worth of lecture, because that can be really just long and boring. So and then after that, that's really all I had planned. So I need you to tell me and be honest with me, like, hey, I need something more, or I need something different. The one thing that I am not ready to do yet is actual test, like I'm mocking up a test, because I don't know what it's going to look like yet. I have to wait for the AP to really lay it out for me. So we're just going to try to get the concepts down and, figure out what you know and what you don't know, and we can work on those things a little bit. And then by the time the AP gets their act together and figures out what they want to do, and I don't mean that in a bad way, they're kind of doing this on the fly, so they'll figure it out, and then as soon as I know, you'll know. Okay. All right, I've gone on long enough here. I want to let you get started. So let me know. Communicate with me. Send me messages on Classroom. Send me emails. Pop onto my Google Meet if you want to. Just communicate if there's something more that you need, or if you're confused by anything, because I know this is all brand new and we're figuring out as we go. So be patient with me. All right, that's it for now.